The first Apple Watch was a successful wearable from a review standpoint. It did nearly everything you could want from an iPhone-compatible smartwatch, but it was slow at times and lacked proper waterproofing. Now the Series 2 is here and it promises to fix both of these issues, but can Apple convince you to finally take the plunge? Apple is launching not one but two smartwatches at the same time, the Series 1 and the Series 2. The Series 1 is functionally identical to the original model released in May 2015, except it includes a new dual-core processor for a much smoother ride. The Series 2 contains the same processor and a couple of other new features. You can pick up a 42mm Series 1 for $299, or pay an extra $100 more for the Series 2 at $399. All models are virtually identical from a build standpoint. The Series 2 is marginally thicker, but the overall size and design of the watch face and the materials are identical. You can only get the Series 1 in aluminium with silicone sports band, while the Series 2 comes in aluminium, stainless steel, ceramic, and a host of special editions like a Nike Plus model. I'm looking at the Series 2 Sport with a black silicone band here, and it looks and feels identical to the model I first reviewed back in May of last year. It looks sporty, minimalist, low-key, and utilitarian. It'll go with just about everything you wear, and you can swap out the band for something else if you want. The watch is comfortable with no pointy edges, the aluminium is incredibly lightweight, and it's essentially undetectable while wearing it. Aluminium is softer than stainless, so it can't take as much of a bashing, but I personally wouldn't justify spending double the price on a stainless model myself. The Series 2 features a few prominent enhancements over the original and Series 1 Apple Watch. It's waterproof to 50 meters, which means you can take it swimming and use it to track water-based workouts. There's a dedicated GPS chip inside too, which means you can leave your iPhone at home and still accurately track your run. The OLED screen on the Series 2 is also a lot brighter than the other models, with more than double the luminance, which helps when viewing in direct sunlight. I don't remember having any problems using the original watch in bright conditions, so this might not be the greatest reason to upgrade. There are also a few other Series 2 exclusive features, like Apple's direct fire speaker, which removes water trapped in the watch using a prominent buzzing sound. You can also turn the digital crown clockwise slowly to wake the screen subtly, which is handy for checking the time without blinding yourself in the cinema and other such situations. Unfortunately, battery life is still virtually identical to the original model, so if you're holding out for a 2 or 3 day battery, you're going to be disappointed. I've been wearing the watch all day, hitting the gym for an hour or so, checking notifications, and making limited use of Siri, and I still find myself with about half a battery at the end of the day. That's not quite long enough to wear the watch all night and have enough battery for the day ahead, so charging at night is still mandatory. On the plus side, a small battery means a fast charge, so you can quickly top up at work or use an external battery pack if you find yourself low. In the time since I last used an Apple Watch, the operating system has gone through 2 big updates. While added speed, dedicated GPS and proper waterproofing are all nice, it seems like watchOS 3 here is the real star. Apple has done a great job of simplifying the OS and shifting to dedicated apps which run directly on the watch hardware rather than streaming from the iPhone. It now more closely mimics Apple's everything is an app design philosophy. It's faster, third-party complications on watch faces are nice, Siri works better just as it does on iOS, the dependence on the iPhone has been diminished, and app selection is a lot better than it was, though it is still fairly limited. The kicker here is that watchOS 3 is available on all models of Apple Watch. If you're happy with your original Apple Watch, then there's not a huge reason to upgrade. If you don't need dedicated GPS or 50 meters of waterproofing, you can save $100 with a Series 1 watch instead. The only reasons to buy the full-fat Series 2 model are for stainless or ceramic models, more workout autonomy, and a desire to have the latest and greatest thing. The Apple Watch is still a want, not a need. I never bought an original Apple Watch after I reviewed it last year, despite being quite taken by what the company had achieved. I don't feel altogether different now. The battery still isn't where I want it to be, but I'm probably going to have to adjust my expectations for a few years yet. Dedicated GPS is nice for runners and cyclists who don't want to rely on their iPhones, but it's still not ideal for all forms of exercise like strength training. But overall, it doesn't take long to get used to the watch. It's a massive convenience. Hands-free Siri on your wrist is more useful than you might think, and the mature OS and ecosystem seems to be slowly pushing me towards the direction of a purchase. But it's still a want and not a need. It's in no way worse than the last version, and it does what it does very well. It's the best choice of wearable for iPhone users, and that's unlikely to change anytime soon. But don't write off the Series 1 either. If you don't need all the bells and whistles, you can save $100 and take no hit to battery life or performance. To read our full review and be in with the chance of winning an Apple Watch Series 2 Sport, head to makeuseof.com.